Local SEO is quite different from regular SEO. Regular SEO would be search terms where they're not actually looking for an agent in their area, but they're looking for homes for sale and different types of properties. And those are great things to rank for as well. The problem is the big portals, they dominate the top page of the results for pretty much all of those big terms. So, you know, what's the name of like one of the little towns or communities that you service, like where you're located?
Edison, New Jersey.
Edison, okay. So let's say someone's searching for homes for sale in Edison, New Jersey. To rank on the first page for that is going to be really, really difficult. And it has nothing to do with your platform being on Squarespace or with Ylopo. It's just that the portals, they all have landing pages built for Edison, and they've got all the homes in there, and they've got thousands of links and thousands of pages on their site that gets updated all the time. You just can't compete with those guys unless you have been doing SEO and creating your own links and your own content aggressively for the last few years. And you haven't. So, you know, I think it's a little bit of a waste of time going after the big popular search terms because they're just so competitive. And SEO is something that is a long game. It's great that you don't have to pay money for it once you're got the ranking, but you have to pay by putting in the work. And the algorithms change all the time, and it's really what it comes down to is having a really strong content game to be really, really good at regular SEO. So you need to be putting out a lot of content on a regular basis that people are reading, people are sharing, people are linking to, and then Google starts seeing you as a trusted authority, and they start rewarding you by giving you higher rankings. So that's the way SEO is working these days. But local SEO is a little bit different. And I talk about all the things you need to do. It's not as much work. There's just basic things you need to do that you need to check those boxes. And I walk through all of those things in that webinar that I just sent you the link for. I basically was just an open book because it's a lot of manual work. And do you have an assistant or anything, a VA or anyone who helps sort of do? Yeah. So a lot of this is stuff you can pass off to a VA to help you with. But it's not rocket science. You know, most of it is stuff you just need to do yourself. You just need to know how to do it. And I'll walk through in that webinar, step by step, what you need to do. I'm also going to do a follow-up webinar because we've basically taken 10 of our VIP clients and I've done all of this for them over the last 3 or 4 months. And I'm going to do a follow-up webinar to show you the results. And I'm also bringing on a guy from a company called White Spark, which I'll show you. Okay, can you see my screen here?
I do.
Okay, cool. So this is the client. His name's Matt Curtis in Alabama. We started doing his, let me go back to the beginning. So all time. I started April 9th working on his account, April 16th. And he had what's called a visibility score of 9%. So he was only getting 9%. Out of all the traffic that gets driven to local SEO, he was capturing about 9% of it in April, in mid-April. Now, the last ranking we got in June the 4th, he's capturing 58% of the traffic, all the local traffic for SEO.
Wow.
Yeah, so we got him a 49% increase. And these are all the terms. You can see this is the change that he was for these terms. So best realtor, if anyone searched that in Madison, Alabama, he wasn't ranking at all before. He was outside the top 100. Now he's number 1. Best realtor near me, and this is the town that he's in. He wasn't ranking for any of these. Realtor near me, real estate agent near me, all of those terms, he was outside. Now he's number 1. And then these terms, realtor in, real estate agent in. These are the top terms you can possibly get. He was 754. Now he's number one for all of them. And it wasn't always like that. You know, we had some fluctuations, but the other cool thing I can track in here is competitor comparison. So comparing him, he's this green line here against his competitors. So, and this is the total amount of traffic, right? The 100% here.
Yeah.
So he's getting close to 60% of it. His closest competitor, who was beating him, you know, there for quite a while, well, not that long actually. We caught up to him in May, but they've grown slowly, 28 to 37%, but we've grown just a lot more. And then some of his other competitors, like this person here, went from 17% down to 1%. So they've taken a big dive. But it's cool, you know, it's important to be able to see not just where you track, but also where you track against. Who are the main people you're competing against?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a little example I wanted to show you.
Now he's on the Ylopo platform, right?
Yeah.
So potentially, I mean, you know, I think one of the things that I had, you know, question on with, you know, just on a basic technical level is like, well, am I even putting it in, you know, because there's very little data on the Ylopo's site about how to do it. You know, like if you could see my screen, like where it says SEO site description,
Yeah.
you know, am I even putting this in here the right way? Should there be commas? I mean, from a syntax perspective, am I doing this right?
Getting your, like I said earlier, I mean, to get your actual website, you know, SEO is driven based off keywords. It's fundamentally what it comes down to, right? So if someone's typing in a set of words inside Google, you know, those are the keywords that you want to rank for. But you need to find out what are the keywords, what are the things they're typing in that are most beneficial for you to show up. And if they're typing in real estate agent, realtor, and all of that, what shows up before any website is the little map. And then if you're on that map, you get all the traffic, and your website and all those other things that show up down below the map, they're hardly ever clicked on. So the things that you can get the website to rank for are what we call long tail searches. So if there's a town or a type of property or a niche sort of type of property in a particular town, you should do something what's called a landing page for that type of property. So it might be colonial homes in Edison, New Jersey, from $250,000 to $500,000. Very, what that's called long tail, because there's a lot to it. But people do search long tail. They're searching for specific types of things. And if you're one of the only ones who shows up for that, and someone else hasn't taken the time to create a page for that, you're gonna rank at the top of the site. You're at the top of the Google. So, you know, this is what we call your landing page. You can put an SEO description in here. You're basically, I can see from your description, you're trying to put in all the keywords into your description. That's a big no-no. Google will actually see that and penalize you because that used to work 10 years ago, but you don't want to do that now because it's spam. It's straight up spam. You're putting keywords in. What you need to do for every single one of those keywords is, you know, if that's what you really want to rank for, you need to try and create a landing page specifically for that keyword. And the title will have that keyword in it. The description will have it in a couple of times. Some of the images will have it as the alt text. But honestly, I mean, can you show me those keywords again, or I just?
Yeah, I mean, I did that. I just deleted those keywords.
That's okay. Just put them in. Down in your little bar.
Like I have a section on my site that says popular communities.
Yeah.
And so each one of these things has, you know, a gazillion keywords in them. Like if I go into Metuchen, I went to SEO and did this, but I'm not sure I'm doing that right.
Yeah, that's so that is the SEO description. Um, yeah, but it's
This
just,
is where I was confused because there's not a lot of direction as to how to properly use this.
yeah, if you just do a Google search for Squarespace SEO help, meta descriptions, SEO descriptions, you'll find there's a lot of articles. There's a lot of guidance out there. You just got to Google it and go through it. But honestly, what you're trying to rank here for this particular page is, I don't know if I'm going to say it right, Medicine homes for sale, right?
Yeah.
But then in your description, yeah, it's not too bad. Brainy, Borough, Medicine, and those are all sort of Medicine related sort of
Yeah.
search things. Yeah, I mean, that's not too bad. But the reality is, if you do a search for Medicine homes for sale, actually, let me just do that. I bet you. So the first result is Zillow. Second result is realtor.com. Third result, Trulia. Then Redfin. Then Coldwood Banker, Wine Chat, Remax, Movoto, Century 21, and then homes.com. I mean,
Ugh.
those are all massive companies
Yeah.
that you look, it's going to take you years to try and take that search traffic away. It's just not possible. So focusing on landing pages for your SEOing, optimizing your landing pages for the main big communities, I don't even recommend trying to do it, honestly, because it's more work than it's just so much work involved, and it's such a long game. There's way faster ways to get results, to get traffic, and to build your business. You could spend the next 2 to 3 years just focusing on SEO, and a bunch of your competitors can be doing really smart sort of just like doubling up on their Wailopo spend, and they're going to run circles around you because they're going to generate 10 times the amount of leads in the same amount of time. And also, Google will change the algorithm 50 times between now and the next 2 to 3 years. That can totally screw you over.
Yeah.
So, look, SEO is just a really complicated game. In a lot of industries, it's fairly wide open. In real estate, the local SEO stuff is fairly wide open. And that's why I put that seminar together, that webinar, and I just laid out what you need to do for that. But going for the big towns, all of the portals have got all the data, they've got all the properties, and they've optimized all their sites to rank really high in SEO for those. So you're never really going to be able to rank on the first page. At best, you might get to the second or the third page, and there's really not a lot of business there. No one really goes second and third page anymore. People just don't have the patience. So I would focus on doing a local SEO strategy, and then also doing long tail stuff. There is another webinar I did. Did you go on the webinar where we talked about the branded sites, did the branded site training, and we gave away like 3 hours of additional work?
Yes. That
Okay.
was, this is how I came about creating all these sub pages on my site, because
Awesome.
I took that and I spent like 2 days making all this crap.
Okay. Yeah, so those sub pages will be fairly specific, right?
Yeah.
Can you show me one of the pages you've done?
Sure. Yeah.
Cool.
So let me go out of here, and let's actually just go to the site. Nope, not my open house tool. Stupid thing. All right, so if I go to communities, this one's pretty popular. FHA approved condos,
Nice.
and then you can choose which community.
Awesome.
And then in here, I have this community populating properties.
Got it. Very cool. Yeah. So this is more the strategy I recommend you doing, is finding these more specific types of property searches that maybe the portals just haven't really spent time doing, or they're not focusing on.
Okay.
And building landing pages around those and making sure the name, the SEO and that is optimized for these. And by SEO, I mean just putting it in the title, putting it in the description. So Middlesex County luxury homes. Yeah, exactly.
And then nothing's coming up.
Oh, okay.
I guess I have to fix that.
Yeah.
Something's broken.
Yeah, yeah.
Here, this is something in our area that's pretty popular. Investing in a second home, make some money, and go show me some homes now. I hope that's not broken too. Well, that's not good. This did work.
It may be a temporary glitch, but you've got the right idea. I mean, then what I would also do is recommend taking those landing pages and going and posting them to some local forums, some local blogs where they're talking about investing, or they're talking about real estate, or they're talking about luxury stuff, things that are related. Like, for example, that luxury page, going and finding some luxury brands or some luxury blogs or anything local to do with luxury, and then posting this as a comment.
Is that the strategy behind a backlink?
Yeah, so that's backlink strategy.
Yeah.
But you want the backlink strategy to be relevant, and you want it to be personal. So you want to say something along the lines of, wow, these watches are absolutely gorgeous. If you own a watch like this, or if you drive a car like that, I've got the perfect sort of luxury home to complement it. Click here to view your next dream home, so that way they can see it's not straight up spam, something that's completely irrelevant, like you're selling erectile dysfunctional pills or something, right? It's luxury to luxury, or it's local to local. And then those sort of links will tend to stick, and they get given a lot more value from Google, because they are sort of, they can see things tie in. And it's not just spammy links that are going to bite you in the ass later on. So yeah, I would say, when you create a page like this, try and spend, or have someone in your team, if you've got a VA, especially if they're in the Philippines or something, they're normally pretty good at finding places, doing research, and just creating links for you. And get it like 10 or so links to the page from local sort of sites or luxury sites, different things that are relevant, and then move on to your next one. And then also in that course where I teach you about Google My Business, local SEO, I show you that Google My Business has its own sort of news feed, and you can post things in there. And I highly recommend one of the posts you make in there would be to all these landing pages over time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I never thought to pay any mind to that.
Oh, so that's how you rank in the local maps for local SEO. You need to be using what's called Google My Business, which is you as a local business, and they also allow you to post products. So any of your listings you can post as a product. Properties are basically your product. So you use those as sort of the products inside Google My Business. But you'll watch in that webinar, I show you all the stuff. It's not just,
That's an interesting concept. Properties are products, and I can use them with Google. That's something
yeah.
I've never even considered.
For for a real estate agent, your product is properties, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. And so you can create, and look, this is what we do for you at Wailopo. We create catalogs of products which are actually properties, but the cataloging stuff inside Facebook was originally designed for products, right? And it wasn't for properties, but properties fit in it perfectly because they've got a price, they've got a description, they've got all the stuff you need to be a product. And you can even do offers, like an open house offer, which only lasts from a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of correlation there, where you can repurpose your content on these other sort of platforms, especially stuff that's owned by Google. You want to do that because that's how you get rankings from them. That's how you get organic traffic. So that's, from an SEO perspective, I wouldn't spend too much time trying to SEO optimize and create links to your main pages. The other thing to do, a really good strategy, if you really wanted to drive a lot of organic traffic and not have to pay for leads over time, is just doing what's called the digital mayor strategy. So you become the digital mayor of the area and you create a lot of local content. So you review like a lot of the local restaurants, you interview them, you share their story, and it's all brought to the community from you, from a place of contribution. But you're also, every interview you do, you're meeting a local business owner. Local business owners know a lot of other business owners who all own homes. So it's actually just a brilliant networking strategy. And now they feel like they owe you because you're driving eyeballs and visibility to their business, making them look good. And they're going to send you referrals. But also, that's the type of stuff on Facebook and on Instagram that actually performs really well. As a real estate agent, just pushing your properties in front of people all the time isn't going to get you a massive following. Isn't going to be like, oh my God, I've got to follow this guy because he's got the coolest properties. It doesn't work. But if you're showing super juicy burgers and like the cool Thai restaurant or like all this stuff that people may not be aware of, and you're bringing attention to it in a really fun, educational, sort of creative way, a lot of people like that stuff. They share it and all of a sudden, a lot of people know who you are. That's called the digital mayor strategy. Kyle Whistle in San Diego teaches this, and he's the master of it. He's got millions of views now on his channel. He's got hundreds of thousands of organic, traffic to his website, all because he's been doing this for the last few years. So he runs but you've got to be fairly comfortable with people and doing stuff in front of a camera, and you got to work your ass off. It's a real hustle game, but all of SEO these days is a hustle game. SEO is not easy anymore. You used to be able to take what you were doing, all of the keywords, throw them in a description, and boom, you would rank. Now you get penalized, and you just can't do that shit anymore. It's all about sharing and social media and video and all these other things, which is a lot of work. And most people just aren't cut out for it, and that's why not that many people do it. But the people who do it and do it well get rewarded massively. And Kyle is definitely one of the best I've ever seen. And he teaches everything in his class. And I think there's one coming up. If you were interested, in this one, they normally do them all in person in San Diego, where he's based. But now, because of coronavirus, he's doing one online for the first time.
Oh, that should be interesting.
Let me see if I can find you the link. Yeah. Here it is. There. I didn't even know if it's still available. Session 1 began on June 3rd. Oh yeah, we just missed it. It was last week. But you know what? He's
Somebody
probably,
to follow.
yeah, just follow him. You can learn. He's probably, since he did this one all online, he may end up doing some sort of course. You can just, do it in your own time, because all of it will be recorded. Um, but anyway, that's a really, if I were to become a real estate agent today and go into a market, especially a market where you are, it's so community driven. There's so many people, in the great schools and the parks and families and stuff. There's so much content there. There's so much information that matter to people that you can build relationships with. I would do that digital mayor strategy all day long. And just know that it's going to be a shitload of work in the first 2 to 3 years, but you're going to really create a big name for yourself and a big brand that the portals can't compete with that on a local. That's one thing they can't do. They don't go into the local communities and network and build up relationships like that, but you can. So they're never going to be able to take that away from you. That's one way you can really kick their ass. And that is a pure SEO strategy. But the other stuff, you can't, it's not just putting keywords in the page anymore. It's a content creation game. So I would say, just for starters, my recommendation would be watch that webinar, learn the local stuff. That's the low hanging fruit. You can do all that yourself. It's not a ton of work. It's just a few things you need to do on a regular basis. And I'll show you exactly what you need to do. I'm also, later in July, I think, I'm actually working on it right now. July the 23rd, I'm going to do the second version of that. And I'm bringing in one of the top local SEO guys in the world, he's been doing this for the last 15 years. He's at all the conferences, speaking on stage. All he does is local SEO. So I've become pretty friendly with him because, we're using his product for tracking everything. That report I showed you before, that stuff was using his product. So I've been asking him, a lot of tough questions when I'm getting stumped, and he's agreed to come on and help sort of teach. And this is because we don't offer this local SEO as a product. I want to offer the training and the support for you guys to be able to do it yourself. We like to do stuff where we can do it at scale and we're extremely effective. This local SEO stuff is hard to do at scale because it's very manual. You need someone sort of checking the boxes and doing it. And we're not the type of company who likes to hire 500-600 people. We like to hire 100-200 people and have them incredibly stealth and efficient and a lot of leverage and automation. So this product doesn't really fit that build, but there's a massive need for it. And that's why we're just teaching and showing you guys how to do it.
Great.
Yeah. So
I'm all in. I mean, I spent most of my morning with the HomeBot folks this morning.
Oh, cool.
Working on some automation development.
Nice.
So we discovered some new bugs that they're going to get back to me on.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's great. That's a really cool tool. But yeah, man, hopefully that helps you. I mean, that's all I would say with SEO. I hope I don't sound too negative.
Actually, the more light you can shed on that, I mean, if we're not able to adapt and strategize, I mean, then we're just dinosaurs. So, that kind of, what you've told me is very helpful because now I can use my time for something else instead of perseverating over something that's not going to work.
Yeah. It can work in little bits, but it's just going to take so long. You'll probably give up before you get there. And there's just so many better things you can be doing.
Yeah, exactly. Everything that you've said already has given me some direction as to time better spent. Cool.
Well, I appreciate it. Look, you can hit me up anytime if you got questions. Just message me, and I'm happy to help.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
No worries. Have a good day. You got it. Thanks. Bye-bye.